What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be continuing What If Damon Was in Dragon Ball. I'm sure most of you here for, part 7 have seen the previous parts, but if you haven't for some reason, or just need a catch-up, make sure to click the link above to check them out. Also, if you want to have some cool conversations with me, or just want to check out the memes I post, make sure to check out my Instagram over at Damon is here, I guess. And if you want to chat with others who enjoy Dragon Ball and this channel, make sure to join the Discord server, which is linked down below. With all that out of the way, let's get right to the video. We last left off with future Trunks arriving to the present, and meeting this alternate reality's very different characters. He's surprised to have a conversation with me, and find out I'm from an alternate dimension, where I basically know everything that's going to happen, and he has asked if I can help him out. Now, I'm pretty sure that him just going off to train with Vegeta would help him out, but if he trained with the actual androids who are here right now, he would be able to get their fighting styles down, and maybe learn a thing or two about spirit control from them. Trunks is obviously reluctant to train with these two, as the androids he knows are pure evil, and it's going to be weird training with good versions of them. Now, I obviously understand this, but I explained that training with these two will also help him with his training even more. Since he obviously holds resentments for the androids, training with them is going to motivate him to give it his all during training, and he's going to get very good buffs in training with the two of them. Trunks understands where I'm coming from, and he decides that the training is worth it, so he heads off to Lapis' island to go train with the two of them. I return to Kami's lookout and resume my guardian and training duties, and occasionally check over on Trunks, attempting to get stronger with the two androids. Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien are on the island too, so luckily Trunks isn't just left with two of the monsters that he hates with every fiber of his being. With everybody on their own training journey, things on Earth are very peaceful. I obviously check in on everything around the world a bunch to make sure nobody else is attacking, but for the most part, I'm focused in on fully becoming the Guardian of Earth. Trunks has been training with the androids for a long while, and has gotten a pretty good grasp of spirit control, not quite mastering all of the techniques, but he's getting really good at them, and he would be able to use these techniques to his advantage. Trunks feels he's powerful enough to take on his version of the androids now, and he's pretty surprised he's having to thank 17 and 18 for helping him defeat, 17 and 18. Lapis and Lazuli don't really get it that much either, but are glad that Trunks is able to now protect his future. He returns to Capsule Corp and tells the others he's ready to depart and go save his future. Before he can leave though, I come on down and tell him that I'm impressed on how much more powerful and skilled he's gotten. But just in case it isn't enough, he should get one more power-up to help out against even more threats in the future. Trunks wants to get as powerful as possible to defeat the android, so he says he's down for everything. I gather Goku, Vegeta, Nappa, Raditz, and Gohan around Trunks and tell him to get in a circle and push all of their ki into him. The Saiyans are confused as they think we're just giving Trunks a mere power-up, but are insanely surprised when he rises up in the air and is surrounded by a red aura. They can't even sense his ki anymore. Trunks then descends back to the ground with his new transformation, the Super Saiyan God. Trunks is insanely impressed with this new form and wants to test out its power to see how well he's going to do against the androids. Vegeta tells Trunks that he'll test him out, so Vegeta becomes a Super Saiyan 4 and battles it out with God Trunks. Trunks tests out his new abilities, and since his God Ki keeps increasing, he quickly catches up to Vegeta. Vegeta is just going easy however, and he's able to beat around Trunks. Of course, Trunks' God multiplier is great, but Vegeta trains extremely hard every day in his Super Saiyan 4 form, and this form is basically his base. So with all of this training, I'm pretty sure that he could beat even a Super Saiyan God, and that's exactly what happens. Trunks is defeated, but Vegeta helped him to his feet, saying that it wasn't an easy match for him, and he can defeat those androids with his strength now. Trunks thanks his father, and climbs into the time machine. Before he is able to depart, I stop him and ask if I can come along to watch, and help out if needed. Trunks says he'd be happy to have me come along, since he knows I know a bunch about the history of this universe, so it would mean a bunch for me to come along and help. I climb right into the time machine and leave with Trunks to his future. The two of us land right in front of future Trunks' Capsule Corp, and we hop out to greet future Bulma. Future Bulma is confused on who I am, since if Trunks was going to bring anybody back, it was probably going to be Goku. So why is it some random guy? I already explained this so many times, so I just put my hand on her head and transfer my entire life story into her, which is another mental move I managed to learn. Future Bulma is obviously taken aback by somebody's whole life story being thrown into her head, and after she recovers, she asks if I'm going to be able to save their timeline and prevent anybody else from being killed. I tell her that actually, I'm going to make sure that nobody else dies, and those who have will be brought back. Trunks and I go off and find the future versions of 17 and 18. I sit back and watch as Trunks rushes in to put an end to them. He manages to power up into his god form and use certain techniques and spirit control to take energy out of the androids and completely destroy them in no time flat. The future is saved, but things aren't quite done yet. I congratulate Trunks for being able to defeat the two monsters. I'm going to help get his timeline back into a better place. I put my fingers on my head and instant transmission to New Namek. Once there, I explain to the Namekians that I'm friends with Goku, and I'm here to ask if the people of Earth can use the Dragon Balls to wish back to ones who have been killed. The Namekians consent to my intentions to appear, and allow me to use the Dragon Balls to my heart's content. Brunga is summoned, and with the first wish, I ask for all the damage done on the Earth that was destroyed be brought back to the way it was. With the second wish, I asked for all those who were killed by the androids, except for the evil ones, to be brought back to life. With this wish granted, Purunga asked for a third wish. I'm about to say that I don't really have one, but suddenly an odd thought pops into my head. Why would I wish to return back to my home? I don't know why this thought is popping into my head now, since I could have done this so many times with Earth's set of Dragon Balls. But now that I'm here with a wish that needs to be granted, I have a huge urge to wish myself out of this world, and back to the real world. Now, it's not that I hate it here. Honestly, I love it here in the Dragon World. But I still miss my old family, my friends, my old life. And here I've had to grow up fast, and take responsibility for most of the events that happened here. But I'm not going to return quite yet. There's still so much I have left to do. And even though I'm feeling homesick now more than ever, I can't just dip on my new life and my friends that I made here. For the decade that I've been here. No, not yet. I wish for Purunga to create another time machine, exactly like Trunks's, and of course he's able to do this, and create a new time machine for me to use to my heart's content. Purunga disappears, and I thank the Namekians for their help, and while I take my time machine and instant transmission myself back to Earth, the future Z fighters have all gathered around Trunks, and once I teleport back there, I introduce myself to them. And it's interesting to see these versions of my friends that are extremely different. The humans are so much weaker, and actual humans, not androids. Vegeta is still a jerk, and his only transformation is Super Saiyan, and he's so much weaker than present Vegeta, it isn't even funny. Meeting the best version of Gohan is super awesome too, and I make sure to explain to him about the hyperbolic time chamber, so he can finally access Super Saiyan 2, which is something he totally should have gotten during the regular Future story. It's also nice to finally meet Piccolo, since remember, in my timeline, King Piccolo was sealed away before he could make Piccolo Jr., so I've never actually met him before. He's like super cool too, and watching the reunion of future Gohan and Piccolo is priceless, and I'm glad I got to see it. Of course, I have to break the news that Goku can't return, since he died of a natural disease, and the Z Fighters already knew this, so they are still sad, but it's not a huge shock to them. Trunks comes up to me and thanks me for everything that I've done for him, and his friends. I've completely changed everybody's lives for the better. I tell Trunks it's no problem at all, and if he ever needs anything again, he knows where to find me. I take my time machine and return back to my timeline. Once I return, Vegeta asks me if everything went well. I tell him things went very well, and that his timeline is completely safe for the time being. He is pretty happy that his future son got so strong, and I was able to save his timeline, and mocks Goku and how his son wasn't able to do the same. Goku powers up and tells Vegeta to say that again, and the two go back at it. I just laugh, as it's something these two always do, and it's always funny to see. Raditz and Nappa come up to me and also ask if I can use the ritual to turn them into Super Saiyan God as well. These two have felt left in the dust for a while, as the two have only managed to access grade 1 of Super Saiyan, while Goku and Vegeta meanwhile have basically fully mastered Super Saiyan 4. I don't really have any reason to not have them do the ritual, since them going God will increase their power thousands-fold, and they'll finally catch up to Goku and Vegeta. I asked the other Saiyans if they want to do the ritual to get the form as well, and surprisingly, nobody else does. Goku and Vegeta see no need for the form, as it's basically cheating your way to power, and they just want to work on their Super Saiyan 4 form and other techniques. Broly and Gohan don't want to use this form either, as they're still working on Super Saiyan, and getting God might not be the best option for getting that. If Broly also loses control in God again, things might not work out so well, so he declines. The ritual is made with both Nappa and Raditz becoming Super Saiyan Gods. The two of their power grow tremendously, and are surprisingly almost on the level of Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta are really happy with these two now, since now they have stronger training partners to work with, which will help them out becoming stronger as well. On the lookout, my godly training continues. I also would like to use some of my new training to see if I can transform another villain into a good guy, King Piccolo. Kami is obviously against this idea, but I tell him that we are all more than enough to deal with him now, if he ever gets out of line, and he deserves a second chance. Kami reluctantly allows me to free King Piccolo, and once he emerges, he immediately recognizes me and attacks me. He lands several blows on me, and they do nothing, not a single scratch whatsoever. Piccolo just stares up in shock, and asks if I managed to get this strong, and how long was he trapped in there? I tell him that he's been in there for almost a decade, and we've faced way stronger monsters than him in the years, and he's not a threat to us at all anymore. Piccolo is furious on how he is so much weaker than I am, and asks if the others that were with me have gotten stronger as well. I tell him that yes, they're extremely powerful now, and I have even more friends too who could probably kill him in one blow. He shouldn't try anything now, as we only freed him to give him a second chance at life. Basically a be good or die scenario. Piccolo says he'd rather die than work with Kami again, and starts to self-destruct, but before he can, I rush over and flick him in the head to knock him out. I sigh and say this is going to be a little harder than I thought, and Kami laughs saying that he knew that. It takes a long while with Kami and I training with Piccolo to make him good. Training seems to get him to open up more, and it's definitely the right way to go, rather than just talking with him. One day, all three of us sense a familiar key coming towards the planet. It reminds me of Frieza? Oh, King Cold. Forgot about that guy. King Cold shows up on the lookout and tells us he's looking for the Saiyans that killed his son and destroyed his capital. I tell him that they're a little busy right now, and if he wants a good fight, he's going to have to face off against me. It's been quite a while since I had a good battle against a villain, so I battle it out with King Cold. Fighting him is much tougher than I expected it to be, as he's very strong. A little too strong, I must say. I asked King Cold if he's been training, and he reveals that after seeing how strong the Saiyans were, he began training to be able to defeat them. I see where this is going, and ask Cold if he has a new form that he achieved. And instead of answering me, he shows me his golden form. Oh boy. We begin our battle again, and even though Cold is so much more powerful than I am, I can hold him back with my unique moveset. This is only getting so far, however, as sure Cold is being held back, but I'm not really inflicting much damage. I don't want to bust out the Mentaru Buriku either, as even if I cripple King Cold's mind for a little bit, rushing in and dealing heavy blows isn't going to work very well, as I don't exactly have enough power to finish the job. Luckily, Cell and the androids instant transmissioned themselves up to the lookout to help me out, as they could sense the battle taking place. Cell powers himself up and begins to battle it out with King Cold, as he fares the best out of all of us. Cell is dealing good hits on King Cold, utilizing his Yardratian techniques to hold King Cold back. As Cell holds off Cold, Lapis and Lazuli teleport behind him to take a few hits on him, and then begin to use their Force Spirit Fission, trying to take Cold out of his golden form. Cell and I are still battling out with Cold, and luckily for me, I'm not draining in stamina whatsoever due to my infinite energy engine, and I notice Cold wearing down, and flickering between his regular form and his golden form. Cold realizes this too, and screams out,
"No! I will not allow this to happen! I will not lose to a bunch of robots!"
Cold's power erupts, and Cold mutates once more, into a 6th transformation. I am completely shocked by this, as again, I didn't think this form was canon, so come on universe, give me a break. The spirit fission on Cold is broken, and he rushes over and knocks out Lapis and Lazuli with one gigantic hit. Cell screams out and tries to help his siblings, but Cold isn't having it with us anymore, and starts to whoop Cell. Even with all the power Cell has, Cold is on a whole nother level. Plus, he's blinded by savage rage, so he's not giving anybody a chance to fight back. Krillin managed to teleport to Goku and the other Saiyans, and bring them here to help. And while it is great to have more fighters, I don't think that even Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is going to be enough to defeat Golden 6th Form Cooler. Of course, they're still going to try, but I tell Goku and Vegeta not to fight yet, as if they die now, we're all doomed. I have a plan that might be able to work and defeat Cold. Raditz and Nappa transform into their god forms and fuse into Nat, saying that they'll try to best or hold off Cold. I wish everybody luck and take Goku and Vegeta and teleport to King Kai's planet. King Kai would obviously be concerned at why we've arrived so suddenly, but I don't have time for jokes and ask him for help. I need to know the location of the Supreme Kai's planet. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So, until we meet again, you guys. See you later!